Lewinsky.
All right, and we are ready at this point, everybody? All right, just put your appearance on the record, just briefly, real quick.
Good morning, Your Honor. Carmen DeFranco appearing again on behalf of people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alicia Oakes on behalf of Matthew Lewinsky, who is present and standing to my right.
All right, and your name, sir?
Matthew Lewinsky.
All right, today's the date and time set for sentencing. Did you get a copy of the PSI, Ms. Oakes?
Judge, yes, and I have reviewed that with my client. We do have a few small corrections to the report.
All right. Ready when you are.
On page 1, the first page 1 of the report, about midway through, it says highest grade completed. It says bachelor's degree. That should say associate's degree. That's on the first page, Judge.
Is that CFJ 284 or no? Okay, the very
actual,
first page.
Yeah, sorry. There's several page
Okay.
1. Sorry, Judge.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. And then the next one is on the next page 1, which is 4 pages into the report.
Look at the top right corner and tell me what that says. That's a little bit easier. 145.
145.
All right, and then,
And same thing under personal history. It says education, bachelor's degree. That should also say associate's degree.
all right.
And then same correction on CFJ 284, which says page 9 at the bottom. It says college and advanced degrees level completed. That should also say associate's degree.
Okay.
And then the last correction is on the very next page, CFJ 284, page 10.
Okay.
Under mental health, it says medication none. He is currently taking Zoloft 50 milligrams. At the time the report was written, he was not on any medication. Since being assessed by the MDOC, they have placed him on medication.
Okay. All right.
Other than that, Judge, there's no other additions, corrections, or deletions.
All right, I did make those changes. And anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Judge, generally, do you want me to do my elocution now or after the victim impact statement?
Normally, I do, my procedure is that I have the defendant attorney speak, then the defendant, and then the complaining witness.
Okay. Judge, I've gotten to know Matthew over the last 5 years in representing him. He does have a traumatic history, which is outlined in this pre-sentence investigation report that I'm not going to speak openly about, but will reference that it is throughout this pre-sentence investigation report. I believe he was the victim of intimate partner violence. I understand what the jury's verdict is. I believe we made appropriate objections for his appellate attorneys to look at this place, and I'll leave it to Matthew if he wants to make any further statement than what I made.
All
He
right.
does have family support here in the courtroom, Judge.
All right, and is there anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
No, ma'am.
All right, and anything on behalf of the prosecution?
Judge, can I defer my comments until after
Yes.
the victim?
Sure. All right, I understand there's a letter that the victim's family wants read.
Yes, I'm reading the statement of the mother, Sandra Winters, but the brother, Jeremy, should be on there. Do you want the next thing to be on it?
Yep, I think he's on there, and it looks like he's in the waiting room as Galaxy S23 Ultra. Does he wish to make a statement?
Yes, after I make the statement.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you like me to remain here, Your Honor?
Wherever you're comfortable is fine with me.
Judge Rancilio, good morning. My name is Sandra Winters, the mother of Jerry S. Winters. There is so much I can say, but I will keep it short. Jerry was my only daughter. There came a time when I stopped hearing from her. Every time the doorbell rang, every call I received, it wasn't her. That wasn't like her. Then the worry kicked in. Something like this doesn't go away. I never thought she was gone forever, and that's a long time. Then that day came when my sons told me of her passing. Jerry was killed by Matthew. I was speechless. I wanted to believe it was a mistake, but it wasn't. I can't express what this did to me. I just lost all my concentration at work after 28 years, so I decided to retire. I will never get over this. The times we shared, the talks we had, and that laughter. Thank you all for everything you have done working on my case. Now Jerry is at peace. God bless you all. Sincerely, Sandra Winters.
Thank you. All right, and then there's also the, and I will say, just because she's on Zoom, thank you, Ms. Winters, for providing a statement to the victim advocate. And then the victim's brother would like to speak?
Yes, Jeremy Winters.
All right, and sir, would you like to turn your camera on? You don't have to, but you can if you wish, and otherwise you can just state your name and go ahead with your victim statement.
I'd rather just go with my statement.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, what's your name, sir?
My name is Jeremy Winters.
All right, and you were
His older brother.
okay, the older brother. All right, go ahead with your testimony today.
Yes, thank you. I've tried several times to write this letter, and the problem is it's just so difficult to put this stuff into words, especially trying to put it on a pad. So I thought it's just best to just speak off of the top of my head and just be as authentic as possible. The thing is, I don't know how anybody could ever deal with something like this when you lose a sibling, especially a younger sibling that you've always looked out for throughout your life. To just, everybody's got their time, but to be taken like this in such a violent way has just been very damaging to myself and my family. I hate to see my mother, go through this the way that she has, and it bothers me every time because a piece of us, it was taken by Matthew, and that's something that he's got to deal with. And I forgive him because it's not my place to hold on to that energy, and I've been trying every day just to kind of let that go because it's kind of left a sour spot in the way that I even view people, and I just know that I've got to do better at that. But I will say that this has hurt myself and my family in a way that just can't be measured, and I've just got to do better with dealing with it and trying to continue to live my life as a better person and not hold on to the anger. So for myself, I think that's what is bothering the most, me just living my life the way that I've always done so without holding on to any anger or hatred. So I'll continue to try to be the best person I can in my sister's honor, because she was a great person. She was always laughing, having fun, and joked around, and I just feel like as an older brother, I felt like I let her down, and I just couldn't protect her in the time where I just wasn't there. But that's all I have.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, anything on behalf of probation, Mr. DeFranco, or on behalf of the people, Mr. DeFranco?
Judge, there's not much more that I can say that the family already hasn't. The court heard all of the testimony. It's one of the most depraved, despicable series of actions by a defendant that I've had to participate in, leaving the body there for the months that he did, cutting the body up in the manner that he did. He deserves every day of the life without parole that I'll ask the court to impose.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Molly, anything on behalf of probation?
Nothing to add, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, I wrestled with what comments to even make today, because I have never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. The lack of humanity involved in the aftermath of what happened, I can almost, not that I can understand what you did, because it's not excusable and it's not really understandable, but even after what you did, it was the aftermath of what you did. The hole and the trauma that you've created in this family is, I've never seen anything like it. They have to live with this now, knowing that their loved one was treated in this fashion post-mortem, and that you caused it. You caused her death. And now this man doesn't have a younger sister. This mother does not have a daughter, and that was her only daughter. And I just don't know, I don't know where that lack of humanity comes from. I don't know how you can live knowing that you have done this to someone in this kind of heinous, horrendous way. I've never seen anything like this. Even to make the mistake, I suppose, of it happening and then to deal with the aftermath would be one thing, but the way you treated her body and the way that you dealt with this after is something that I've never seen before. And I, quite frankly, it evidences a lack of humanity that is just indescribable. So I don't have a lot of discretion in the sentencing. It is a life offense, and I personally, and I think the community would feel better knowing that you are where you belong, which is behind bars. I don't know how you could do something like this to someone that you allegedly loved. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I feel really bad for this family that not only did they lose a loved one, but they have to deal with the way that they lost her and the aftermath of what happened to her remains that whole time.
And that's where this heartbreaking case comes to an end. The court handed down a sentence of life without the possibility of parole, bringing the legal process to its conclusion. But for the victim's family, the emotional impact will last far beyond the courtroom. Cases like this remind us that justice can impose punishment, but it can never fully erase loss. What are your thoughts on the judge's final remarks and the sentence?
I don't know if I could handle that if that was my sister. I don't. So it's the sentence of the court on count, as it relates to count 1, homicide, first degree premeditated murder, that you go to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of your life. You have credit for 1,813 days. I don't want you to have any contact with the family of Miss Winters in any capacity, whether it's directly or indirectly. There's a $130 crime victims' rights fee. There's a $600 court cost. There is a $60 DNA test fee, and then there's a $68 state cost. That's as it relates to count 1.
Judge, I would object to the court cost. Mr. Lewinsky is indigent. He will be serving life in prison with no ability to pay that.
Mr. DeFranco?
I'll leave it to the court's discretion.
You know what, let me assess all the fines and costs, and you can make that argument at the end.
Okay.
All right, as it relates to count 2, disinterment and mutilation of a dead body, you shall be sentenced to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the period of 23 to 120 months with credit for 1,813 days. Again, no contact with the complaining witness's family. There's a $68 state cost that is associated with that count. Count 3, concealing the death of an individual. I'm placing you in the Macomb County Jail with 365 days, 1813 days served, with credit for 1813 days served. There's a $68 state cost on that count as well. As it relates to the court costs, he's indigent.
Correct, Judge. He was unemployed at the time that he was arrested. He's been incarcerated for 1,813 days with no employment. He's going to the Michigan Department of Corrections for the rest of his life. He would have no ability to pay $600 in court costs.
I'll waive the court costs for him, and then the remaining fines and costs are imposed by law.
Understood.
That's the only waivable cost I have.
Judge, with relation to attorney fees, I am employed by the Public Defender's Office. I would ask that no attorney fees be imposed as well.
I will not assess any attorney fees at this point. Anything else?
Judge, the only thing I would ask, the court did impose a life sentence, but it did not indicate that it was without the possibility.
It's without the possibility of parole.
Thank you, Judge.
I apologize for leaving that out.
Judge, I am giving him his notice of appellate rights right now. I will have him sign a copy for the court.
You have a right to appeal your conviction and sentence. Would you acknowledge receipt of your appellate rights, sir?
Yes.
Can you initial here? And then I'll bring this copy.
And to the victim's family, I will just say I'm eternally sorry that you had to deal with this and that you lost your loved one in this fashion. I hope that in some way his life imprisonment without the possibility of parole brings some sort of peace and justice to you, because you certainly deserve it. No one deserves to go through what this family has gone through, nor did Miss Winters. And I didn't even speak about her. She didn't deserve that. She did not deserve that. No one deserves to be treated that way.